Hey TBC Kindle, I'm Brother Tyler, and we're here again today with another Kindle Daily Devotional. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about boldness, and I'm going to read from Genesis chapter 31, verses 20 through 23. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face, and sent his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled, and he took his brethren with him, and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. Yeah, I think that's fine. So we'll try again. Stop it. Stop texting me. Hey TBC Kindle, I'm Brother Tyler, and we're here again today with another Kindle Daily Devotional. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about boldness, and I'm going to read from Genesis chapter 31, verses 20 through 23. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face towards the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled, and he took his brethren with him, and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. So this is the same context of where we were yesterday, where Laban all of a sudden starts to look at Jacob with a different kind of look. Jacob said his countenance is not like it was before. So God speaks to Jacob and tells him to get out of that place. But you have to wonder what was going through Jacob's mind here in verse 20. Because before this, Jacob talks to his wives and his household, and, they talk a little bit, go back and forth. He shares with them what God spoke to him about leaving, and how God said, I'm the God of Bethel, I'll be with you, blah, 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 all that stuff. But Jacob, for some reason, instead of boldly leaving, even like maybe just telling Laban, like, hey, I'm getting out of here, he sneaks out unawares to Laban. Basically, he didn't tell Laban anything. He just got out of there, and he snuck away. Now, you have to wonder if there was this response because of fear. If we take a look at the Acts of the Apostles, and we look at how the disciples of Jesus, who are now the apostles of the New Testament church, they just healed a lame man, or they just prayed for a lame man's healing in Acts chapter 3. And in Acts chapter 4, they're being charged and sentenced. And after all that stuff happens, the apostles go to God and they ask the Lord in prayer for more boldness to preach the word. Now, instead of doing what Jacob did in sneaking away and not being bold about what God told him, and if you look at verse 24 in this same chapter of Genesis 31, God gives a dream to Laban saying, you better be careful not to hurt Jacob with your words, or don't say anything good or bad to him. God's hand would have been on Jacob the whole time, whether he confronted Laban or not. So Jacob should have acted with boldness for what God had said, just like the apostles did, because they asked God for boldness and they spake the word of God boldly. They didn't care if they were going to get sentenced. They didn't care what was going to happen to them. They just kept preaching the gospel. So I hope I give you some encouragement today. Keep declaring the word of God with boldness. Ask the Lord to make you a bold witness for the Lord. Thank you so much for watching this devotional today. I'll talk to you guys again on Monday. God bless.